Okay, so we're moving on to nails now. Now, because she has this beautiful manicure, we're not able to actually use nail glue to adhere the fake nails to her natural nail, otherwise it would ruin her manicure, and we don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is just actually hold it down with the 3rd degree. So I've already mixed part A and part B together, so our working time is much shorter now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put a bit of it on the nail, like this, and I'm just going to try and quickly do a lot of them at the same time, since we only have so much time before it actually starts to cure. It's going to be a little bit different than before. So before, we put the glue down and then we press the fake nail into the glue and then we blended this on top of it. But what we're doing now is kind of putting this all over the nail and outside the nail a bit as well. And then I'll show you how we're going to add the nails in. Now, because I didn't know what size her nails would be, I kind of made a few different sizes of these fake ones, just in case. So what I'm going to do is actually just take this and kind of push like that. And now the trick with this is going to be letting it sit and letting it cure, because that's going to take a little bit. So what we're going to do is follow these drips underneath. You don't want it to look like it's dripping off. You want it to blend out pretty seamlessly. So just follow it until it gets thick enough to where you can just kind of leave it alone. But you don't want to mess with that top part because you want it to kind of have that little bubble on the top. That way it looks like a fake cuticle. So if I can, is there any way to lay your hand flat? Okay, that'll be good enough. Okay. Now this part can be pretty quick because we'll go back and we'll start blending it while it's curing. So we still have some work time with it. Not a ton, so you do want to work fairly quickly, but so just press those in, and then we still have a little bit left over. So what we can do is kind of blend it down a little bit to kind of change the texture of the finger, kind of make it its own gross thing. Remember not to forget about the bottom part. And remember too, before this cures, you can use some alcohol to help blend these edges away. I'm still kind of just sculpting and creating a new look to the fingers, but maybe the knuckles are a little bit higher or something. Something that just changes a little bit, makes it a little bit different than the normal. And then we can relax them a little bit just so they're not straight out curing like that would be perfect. I really like the nails. So again, these nails I prepped at home. Same way as we did for the creature nails. You know, I took them and I cut them in the shape that I wanted, which you'll see once they're all together. All the ones on this hand are cut at an angle that way. The ones on that hand are cut at the opposite angle, just to give some asymmetry to it so it's not too precise and perfected. And they're just the general acrylic nails that you would find to do fake nails with. I just trimmed them and then I filed them down and was able to paint them with Skin Illustrator colors to give it that really pretty lifelike tone where it's fairly see-through and looks like it could be a normal nail, even though it's alien. You can feel too, it's starting to cure. You can tell once you're working with it, once it starts to get thicker and not as runny. You can tell it's starting to cure, so that means your working time is less, so you need to work a bit faster. So make sure you get all the important parts first, and then work on fine details. So for example, I'm just making sure that it's kind of blended down a bit and it's not just flat and placed. Make sure you give them a little bend. Okay, so now, before that completely finishes curing, I'm going to take some alcohol and a brush and or a sponge, I mean, and just kind of tap over the edges a bit. That way it helps to blend the edges in. Also give a little bit of texture. That way it doesn't look so flat. And shiny. Okay, so then we're going to leave that alone. We're not going to touch that. We're going to let it cure. While it's curing, what I'm going to do is actually go and just paint a little bit of this exposed skin here. I'm going to start and wait to paint the hands until this is totally cured. Otherwise, we're going to inhibit the curing of it. So what we're going to do is paint a little bit of the arm area, and then we'll style the hair, and then we'll go back and finish the arm or the hands once it's totally cured.